Hi, today we've got Paul Petersen from GoldMine CRM. Hey, Paul, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it very much.
You got it, Chief.
For sure. So, Paul, tell me a little bit about your role at GoldMine and really what GoldMine is all about.
Well, so GoldMine, I'm the general manager and I run the GoldMine business unit. Interestingly, I was a user of GoldMine before I joined GoldMine in 1999. The product has been out. It helped create the category of contact management and central database back in 1986. That's when it first came out. So today we run GoldMine as part of a larger company called Heat Software, but we run it as a separate business unit, dedicated resources, sales and marketing, focused on the small to mid-sized business. So it's a great alternative to some of the larger names that are out there.
Right. So you guys have a very strong foundation just based on the history alone. And I certainly remember hearing about GoldMine, but talk to me about, because the competition seems to be so fierce in the CRM space, right? And it's so many new names, especially cloud-based, etc. So talk to me a little about the evolution and how it is that you are maintaining or still remain as a leader within that space.
Sure. So a few years ago, GoldMine, Act, maybe Maximizer were the only names on the market. So in that sense, we say we invented the category. And then you had the Salesforce pop up in about 2006. For whatever reason, we made a choice not to go to the cloud. So a little bit of we said, hey, let's pursue where our customers were and so forth. And so today, there's a plethora of cloud-based, subscription-based. And as we looked at that over the years, you say, well, how many bookstores are there? Amazon. How many auction sites are there? eBay. Yeah, there are others, but they're small players. So when it came to cloud CRM, well, Salesforce is the big gorilla. But here's what's happened, a couple of things that have happened. So there are a lot of smaller players that haven't grown. And so we chose to differentiate our product around our strengths. So it's the old, when you have lemons, make lemonade. I hate to say that, but that's what we said. So here's what happens. Some of the CRM products, like the Siebel of old, if you remember Siebel, they called it feature bloat, right? Everything just got huge and it was complex and sort of got away from what people needed to do. So we chose, I've been with the company 18 years. There were many big companies that started out with us. Hey, we just need to keep track of sales inquiries. We need to respond. We need to be on top of it. We need to do a little bit of marketing. So we said, let's focus on that. And that's what our value prop is called: simple, affordable, proven. So let's focus on just enough features, because when you look at, if you want integration with your accounting system and key workflows and and spinning off all these things and custom development, then absolutely you need to go to a Microsoft or a Sugar, Salesforce for the platform. But if you're the average small business, and I say typically under 100 employees, you just want to keep track of your leads, keep your salespeople on top of it, provide some level of customer service, and be able to do some basic marketing through things like Constant Contact, very accessible automation products. So that's what we've chosen to focus on over the last few years. So try to keep it simple. The other is, we do have a differentiator, if that would be a good thing to talk about, and that is, with all these subscriptions now, we've had to re-educate people on the value of buying software. It's the most affordable option, right? Because I can buy it once, and now I can run it for 8 years. Whereas with a subscription-based, you're going to pay for it. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, though, the other differentiator is, we're starting to see some emergence of what I'll call desktop as a service, where, you run CRM as a subscription. Now, what about accounting? What about word processing? So I've got Office 365. I've got a Intuit subscription. I've got Salesforce, right? Well, it's desktop as a service, and so it's a nascent market. But I can put all those applications in the GoldMine cloud, pay for a subscription, or I could buy the licenses and just use hosting. But the idea is, I can go to one place and run all my applications in the cloud. And so for an SMB, that takes a lot of the burden of that server out that just going for one application doesn't. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So as it stands today, you're still a desktop software. I mean, it still runs on a desktop. There's no cloud version to GoldMine, correct?
Well, there is a cloud version. So what we've done is, it's a desktop software, so you can run that on a PC. So as a single user, you can start out like the old days, very economically, or I can put it on my server. So you have to have a server to access the internet anyway, right? So I can run it on the server using SQL Express, right? But we also put the same software into the cloud. So it's desktop as a service. So it's not a web app. It's not multi-tenant. You open it up, it's GoldMine. So the good news is if you start out in the cloud and buy a server, you could move your files later. But the other piece is because we're opening up a desktop, so not unlike an RDP, Citrix, right? So Citrix, a small business can't afford Citrix, but big companies use it all the time. I can get a GoldMine cloud subscription, and to that, I could add QuickBooks. So I could use the full-featured Windows version of QuickBooks. They're having the same problem. If I come out with a web version, Act did this. It's got less features than my Windows one.
Okay.
So I could run GoldMine full-featured. I can run QuickBooks. I could get an Office 365 subscription. I've got document storage if you're worried about security and things of that sort. But now I'm logging in one place, and I could run my whole business from one subscription.
Understood. So how much does this cost? I mean, it sounds like there are multiple options over here. What does it cost to, engage with you folks today?
So at you can buy a starter kit bundle, 3 users for the first year. It's about $1,600. And then year 2, the fees drop way off because all you do is pay us for tech support and software updates. If you go subscription, it's $55 a user a month, which is very competitive.
Got it. Very.
And then we focus on, we're a one size fits all sort of CRM that says it's got all the features you need for sales management, some marketing, reporting, activity tracking. There's a web version. There's a version that can work on your smartphones and tablets and so forth. So you can have remote access easily. $55 a month, per user.
Per user, right? Well, that's certainly affordable. So now, you have so many customers over a couple of decades here now.
Yes.
So what is the common theme you hear from your customer base today in terms of room for improvement?
Well, so they were very high on getting us to mobile access to their data. So that was number one. Number two, getting good hosting services was a key requirement in the space. Hey, I want to use my GoldMine data, or I used GoldMine before. I'd like to use it. Do you have a cloud version? Well, if I had a cloud version and it looked different, would it be GoldMine? Right. So we were faced with a conscious decision that said, for us, rather than re-engineering the product and try to catch up, let's put it on a hosted service. The one today, the big care about today that we are focused on is email linking. Everything from one-to-one emails, email marketing automation, and in Canada it's cancel and spam laws, linking to products like Constant Contact, and getting emails accessible on my phone, but still linked to the contact. So that's a fairly complex issue. It's the number one thing, and it's some of the stuff that we are working on right now.
Does that also tie into some marketing automation initiatives that would eventually be built into GoldMine?
Yeah, so today we use, for example, we use Act-On for our marketing automation. My parent uses Marketo, big, complex, expensive. Act-On was a good price fit. And Act-On, when an event happens, that triggers, they downloaded the eval, or they requested a sales rep to give them a shout. It sends us a real-time message that gets imported into GoldMine. Then we check the record. Does it exist before? Is it a new record? We can assign it automatically using Workflow to sales rep and schedule a call. So my whole team uses that. And then we do one step further. If I get a lead and I want to send it to one of my resellers, we have email templates that I can send it out. And it links all that conversation to the contact. They're in our database. We can upload our lists to marketing automation as well. Okay.
Now, is the pricing that you indicated to me include the marketing automation functionality in there, the Act-On functionality that you're referring to?
No. Act-On is separately, so the customer can use Constant Contact. They can use MailChimp. They can use any marketing system they want. We have some partners who've built some integrations with Act-On, so we haven't commercially released those yet.
I see.
The other one that's coming, but we also have one of our longtime partners built an email marketing engine that not only does the delivery of the email like Constant Contact, it's so tightly integrated on the back end that if you get a bounce back or an invalid email address, it will correct the database and start to cleanse your data for you.
Oh, that's nice.
So we're going to be talking about that. The other most common request other than email then becomes voice integration. How can I use my GoldMine with my phone, the two most powerful business tools, right? Whether you're a call center of 100 or just hey, I've got a couple of salespeople and I just keep them calling through or calling customers, right? So we will be announcing some new voice integration technologies that transcend all the technical middleware you used to have to buy to work with my PBX. Oh, I've got the Shortel. Oh, I've got Panasonic. Oh, I've got Alcatel, whatever it is, right? We've got a method that's going to work from GoldMine for click to dial, for power dialing, and it will not require any integration with the PBX system.
Very cool. Very cool. So that I kind of see that, hey, you're actually continuing to make the product better and better and more, in terms of just user demands and trying to meet those. I think.
Yeah, I've been in sales a long time, and salespeople like change. They don't like to be changed.
Right.
So in part, we've held back on redesigning. One of the biggest things we put our customers through in 2006, we redid the user interface.
Yeah.
And it was long overdue. But at the same token, there were many people who were so used to where everything was, my macros and all that, right? So we've tread slowly on changing that too much. We've got the web client, which can be used on a PC. So we've sort of touted that, hey, it's a new, fresh interface. If you want simple, basic CRM, use the web client. You can then use it on your phone. If you're a power user or an older user, everything you want is right there. Because the Windows apps is pretty fast when everything's right there, one click away, sort of thing. So we have been focused on trying to add high value items like the constant contact or the voice integration, and been a little bit slower on the user interface side.
Well, Paul, I've certainly learned a lot today in reference to GoldMine, because I remember checking out GoldMine a while back ago, and I was like, oh, well, it's a desktop solution, and that's how I left it. And you've opened my eyes today in terms of the functionality that GoldMine offers today, and really where you folks are headed too, which is really it's inspiring in a way, in terms of, hey, that's not what my mindset was on GoldMine.
Right.
So I think hopefully our audience, because we do drive quite a bit of traffic to crowd reviews, people are looking for software solution vendors, and so if they're looking for a CRM provider, I think this interview hopefully helps them understand, hey, GoldMine really does offer a lot more than the users.
There's nothing wrong with owning a PC or a server, and if you do, GoldMine fits. And we've got a lot of features that have worked for many, many industries, many, many individuals for a long time. Take a look at GoldMine. It's we think it's a simple alternative to some of the more complex things that are out there and more expensive.
Yeah, right. Well, I appreciate your time very much, Paul.
Great, Chief. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care.